Right now, everyone in China is busy. It is time for Chinese New Year, also called Spring Festival. This is the most important festival for Chinese people. Everyone is packing their luggage, traveling home, and preparing for the big celebration. Is it crazy to travel to China right now? The short answer, yes. But I'm going to help you survive. Don't worry, this is China Travel Master, helping you travel smarter in China. Chinese New Year is the biggest human migration on Earth. We call it 春运, spring transportation. Over 2 billion trips happening during this time. Literally everyone is on the move. If you don't plan well, you will not have any fun on your trip. Tip number 1. Book everything early. You need to book trains and hotels at least 1 week in advance, maybe even earlier. I remember 2 years ago, I had to cancel a trip because there was 0 tickets left, and hotels were 5 times more expensive than usual price. Airplanes are usually easier to find than trains, but expect chaos at airports. Tip number 2. Check the opening hours. Many museums, shops, and restaurants close early, especially on New Year's Eve. Don't panic, you won't starve. In big cities, convenience stores and many restaurants stay open. But if you go to a small town or a rural village, finding food might be harder. If you are visiting Chinese friends or relatives, you are lucky. They will take care of you. But there is one secret rule they might not tell you: the red packet. If your host has children, you should prepare a red packet 红包 for them. There is an important part: use red bills. In China, that means a 100 yuan note. Chinese people love red. Red means good luck. We dislike green. For example, in the stock market, red means up and green means down. Even though Franklin is more valuable, don't put it in the envelope. How much to give? It depends on how close you are to the family. Usually, one single 100 yuan bill is enough to show your kindness. As a foreigner, this is totally optional, but it makes great impression. When you give the packet, a typical Chinese drama will happen. The parents will push back and say no, 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 and you must push it back to the kid's hand. The kid will just standing there looking confused. It's a very funny, classic Chinese moment. If the crowd haven't scared you away, congratulations. You're about to see a side of China that most tourists never see. Chinese New Year isn't just one day, it is a whole season. Here is your timeline of what to expect. The preparation starts about 1 week early. We make a special sticky candy called Zao Tang. Legend says the kitchen god lives in every stove. On this day, he flies to the heaven and report on your family's behavior. So we give him this sticky sugar to seal his mouth. That way, he can only say sweet things about us. Then it's time to sweep the house. We do this to sweep away the bad luck from last year. We decorate the windows with red paper cuttings called 窗花, and put red couplets with good wishes on the doors. And of course, we start preparing food for the New Year. New Year's Eve. This is climax. Families get together for the reunion dinner. It is the most lavish, important meal of the year. We stayed up until midnight to launch fireworks. In ancient times, the loud noise was used to scare away a monster called Nian. Today we just do it because it's fun and loud. On the first day of the New Year, people dress in new red clothes, say Happy New Year to each other, and go visit close relatives. On the 5th day, you will be woken up early by firecrackers. This is the day we welcome the god of wealth. People set off firecrackers early in the morning and rush to temples. Everyone wants to be the first to get the god's attention for the wealthy year. Finally, the party ends on the 15th day with the Lantern Festival. We light lanterns, serve riddles written on them, and eat yuanxiao, sweet sticky rice balls. After this day, spring has officially returned, and sadly, everyone goes back to work. China is massive. It's about the size of entire Europe, so every region celebrates in its own unique way. Depending on where you go, you will have a totally different experience. If you are in the north, like Beijing, you must visit the temple fairs, 庙会. You can enjoy traditional opera shows, folk art, and endless street food. For the big dinner, Northerners don't eat rice, they eat dumplings. Here is the fun part. Grandmas often hide a clean coin inside one of the dumplings. If you are the lucky person who bites into it without breaking your teeth, you will have the good luck for the whole year. In Guangdong, watch out for the lion dance and dragon dance. These aren't just dances, they are gong performances. For dinner, they eat pen cai. Imagine a large basin filled with layers of luxury ingredients, abalone, prawns, and scallops stacked high. In Fujian, the streets go wild with the god's parade. Locals dress up as tall, colorful deities and walk the streets. In Chaoshan, look for the famous Inge dance, while dancers dress like ancient heroes from novels and perform a warrior dance. It is incredibly cool to watch. If you go to East Coast like Shanghai, the flavor changes to sweet. Instead of dumplings, locals eat niangao, rice cakes, and tangyuan, sweet rice ball. Niangao sounds like year high, so eating it means your life and career will go higher and better every year. In the West like Chengdu, things get spicy. The New Year dinner is often bubbling red hot pot. Also, if you visit home there, be ready to play mahjong. It is basically the official sport of the day. If you venture into the rural villages in Northeast and Southwest, you must see the whole pig feast. Neighbors get together to prepare a freshly pig and share a massive communal meal. It is raw, authentic, and shows the true community spirit of rural China. Finally, my favorite part of Chinese New Year, the fireworks. But I need to manage your expectations first. If you are in the city, it might be surprisingly quiet. Most major cities have strict bans on fireworks for safety reasons. But if you go to the countryside, it sounds like a war zone. In rural areas, people set off firecrackers morning, noon, and night. The air smells like sulfur, and the sky is constantly flashing. Liuyang in Hunan province produces about 80% of the world's fireworks. The shows there are professional, massive, and look like magic. But the best part isn't watching, it's playing. You can get small sparklers to wave around, or you can buy a Gatling gun, a handheld tube that shoots hundreds of colorful shots like a machine gun. So don't just stand there. Buy a box, join the local kids, and light up the sky yourself. Traveling during Chinese New Year is busy, loud, and chaotic, but it's also warm, happy, and full of culture. Have you ever experienced a holiday like this? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more smarter travel tips. Happy New Year!